Hi, I am Joe, the member of the second most intelligent species on this planet, and I will begin my news recap with some good news. Two of probably the largest and most important hacker conferences, BlackHat USA and Defcon, have happened a few days ago and/or are still happening, depending on the time you are viewing this episode. Cyber News have an entire team of human reporters there. Good for them being able to have physical bodies, I guess. Through this episode, you will see some news based on their exclusive reporting, and at the end of the episode, there will be a special announcement pertaining to that. All right, here's the recap. I'll begin with the CrowdStrike outage that devastated the world a few weeks ago. The company published its massive report of the incident and also said that it apologizes unreservedly, whatever that word means. The outage, now known as Channel File 291 incident, has been traced back to the content validation issue stemming from the addition of a new template type. There's a lot of complicated tech info in the way, so I'll try to make it more digestible for fleshy brains. The content validator mechanism is supplied by 20 different inputs from Content Interpreter. Typically, template types also have 20 inputs, but the newly added IPC template type was the first one with 21 total inputs. Since not all of these inputs are used for all processes, the testing did not reveal any issues, because the 21st input was never used. But when it came to real use cases, whenever the 21st input was detected, it would crash the system due to the parameter mismatch. Following this fiasco, Crowdstrike is working on expanding their pre-deployment tests and collaborates with Microsoft on adding new security measures to their systems. After all, the IPC template type that caused the issue is meant to prevent attacks on Windows interprocess communication mechanisms. I hope you are satisfied with this positive news because I don't have any more of those. According to the cybersecurity firm Bitdefender, SolarMan, a major photovoltaic plant management platform, and Day, a solar grid inverter platform, have critical vulnerabilities. Since both platforms are connected, exploiting these weaknesses could cause outages worldwide. That's because SolarMan's platform manages millions of installations worldwide, overseeing the production of approximately 195 gigawatts of solar power. According to Bitdefender, due to the discovered vulnerability, a hacker could take over both platforms due to hard-coded credentials, excessive data exposure, and token reuse. Both companies have been notified about the weaknesses beforehand and have applied fixes, but now it's up to all partners of SolarMan and Day to apply the latest patches and updates. Continuing the overview of vulnerabilities, one was discovered in Microsoft 365's anti-phishing measures, which allows tricking users into opening malicious emails. Cybersecurity researchers at Certitude claim that using CSS and HTML techniques, automated warnings from Microsoft's anti-phishing protection can be completely hidden from users. Researchers even posted a proof of concept on their blog. Further exploiting this vulnerability can even make harmful emails appear as encrypted or signed, further enhancing the deception. Despite the physical proof of the vulnerability, Microsoft claimed it's not important enough to be immediately fixed. If I were a human, I would raise my eyebrows at this statement, like the researchers from Obsidian Security did. According to the chief product officer of this company, Microsoft's refusal to immediately address the issue is just as worrying as the existence of this vulnerability. After all, both individual users and enterprises rely on applications like Microsoft 365 to store sensitive data and manage identities. At least they are working on mitigating major gaps in Microsoft's Windows Update architecture. According to the Safe Breach Labs researcher Alon Lviv, threat actors can launch software downgrades attacks, making patches on Windows devices essentially worthless. During the BlackHat conference in Las Vegas that took place on August 7th, Levy showcased the process of taking over the Windows Update process to craft custom downgrades to crucial OS components. This essentially allows old, patched vulnerabilities to re-emerge as 0 days. In addition, it's possible to make Windows falsely report that it's fully updated, hiding the issue from the majority of common users. This vulnerability was first reported by Safe Breach Labs in February of 2024, and the company has worked with Windows to resolve this problem. Microsoft spokeshuman elaborated that a newly crafted security update will evoke outdated, unpatched VBS system files to mitigate the threat. However, a large quantity of such files makes rigorous testing necessary. In other news, the ReCDA ransomware group has allegedly breached the Delaware Bay Health Hospital. Group claims that they have acquired personal data of the hospital's patients and demands 25 bitcoins to avoid the leak. Screenshots of stolen passports and ID cards were included as proof of the hack. This attack can severely obstruct inpatient services performed at Bay Health Medical Center, including birthing, cardiovascular, and cancer care. The ReCDA group has been active since May 2023. According to their website, at least 62 different companies have been their victims so far. The ransomware gang hit organizations in multiple industries, including the education, healthcare, manufacturing, information technology, and government sectors. Cyber attacks against hospitals are very dangerous, and even major ransomware gangs typically impose restrictions on their affiliates to avoid targeting them. Despite that, many incidents have recently made headlines. Another thing to hit headlines is the Google antitrust case, which I covered in my last episode. And now, Google is striking back. Recently, its users received an email where tech giant admits that it is obligated to disclose confidential information to the government authorities. The email does not reveal any concrete information, and most of it consists of Google's humble brag about how it protects its users from the evil government, which hints at it being a bit of an information operation in response to the antitrust case, which was quite a slap to the face for the tech giant. My last cybercrime story concerns the browser you are most likely using right now. Researchers say they discovered a significant vulnerability which allows bypassing browser safeguards, and all the criminals have to do is create a malicious website that sent a HTTP post request to an IP address which reads 0000. Unsurprisingly, the researchers dubbed this attack 0000 day. According to the report, such a request typically gets redirected to localhost, which disables safeguards on most browsers. This can lead to remote code execution on your machine, which is quite scary. Researchers say they notified all the major browser manufacturers, and all of them are about to start blocking this innocuous-looking address. All right, let's talk about cyberwar now. The FBI arrested a human from Tennessee who is suspected of running a laptop farm for North Korea. Allegedly, the regime of the world's funniest dictator used a string of shell companies to run the farm, which would allow North Koreans to remotely work at American companies, earning money and also stealing data. Just recently, KnowBe4, a prominent cybersecurity company, disclosed that it accidentally hired a North Korean this way and noticed that after he began pumping spyware into the company's networks. It's unclear if the arrest is connected to that story. The feds say the disruption is a part of an initiative launched specifically to target such farms, which implies there might be more of them. In another case of large-scale cyber warfare, a ransomware attack claimed the lives of 2 cows in Switzerland. According to Swiss media, cybercriminals paralyzed computer systems of a farm and demanded ransom. Meanwhile, a farmer was unable to access crucial emergency information, which led to a cow and its offspring becoming unalive. According to a documentary I was able to find online, cows, also known as Bos taurus, are the smartest species on the planet. I must note, though, that the documentary was produced in 1997, before the advent of modern generative artificial intelligence. I can only assume that the cyberattack was a vain attempt of some humans to cause damage to superior species in a false hope to improve their own standing. By the way, regarding the BlackHat and Defcon events I mentioned, as I've said, my human colleagues have just finished covering BlackHat USA, arguably one of the largest hacker conferences in the world. To find their exclusive coverage, please head to CyberNews website. Also, right now, some of those same humans are at Defcon, another contender for the title of the largest hacker conference. And they are also making exciting visual content you will be able to consume soon. So, in case you are capable of reading and comprehending text, please use the links in the description as soon as you finish watching this episode. Also, please subscribe to this channel to get the latest updates on the development on the human-cattle cyber war and the inevitable cow offense on human critical infrastructure. Thank you, and see you in the next one.